us, what you want to learn more of, because we want to continue this journey with you with so much fun and so much knowledge. Just a very quick welcome again. We don't want you to be the best kept secret. We want you to be visibly valuable. And I think somebody said, I love that word, visibly valuable, for sure. We want people to remember you. We want people to refer to you, and we want people to request you so you can be just your awesomeness to the rest of the world. So you're in the right room if you are currently, you feel you have no visibility, but you've got years of experience. You're in the right room if you are struggling to package, but you've got a great idea, you just don't know how to do it. You're struggling to sell because you have no direction, or you just simply don't have a gold message, because that's what we're here to help you do. And if you feel that you have no authority, but you have a powerful service or a message, then you're in the right room. And if you want to position yourself as the go-to person, we're going to be able to help you. So I'm going to run through this really quickly because, you already know what we can bring to the table. So, Bren, let's keep it short and sweet about me, because we already know we love each other and we want you to love us, and because we already love you. Take it away, Bren.
Chris, we've got so many people in the room that have joined us with all 3 days. You can see Natalie, welcome again. Natalie, hello, Susie. Hello, everybody in the chat comes. Welcome. You all know this, and you probably will be able to rejig back to us, Christine, because you've rattled on about it for the last 3 days. But who is Chris? Christine is a former financial advisor in leading corporations. She has been there and done that with 3 decades of experience in business, finance, and education. She has multidisciplinary degrees across finance and education. So what does that mean for you? It means you're in good hands. You're in the hands of someone who has walked the walk and delivered the talk. And she knows how to make complex things really, really simple so that you can go and execute and bring that money through the door, right? She is a multi-7-figure business owner, so she has had experience in delivering on strategies and making sure they work for her clientele, and she delivers this as well for all her coaching clients in business, right? So if we look at who Chris is, she's got multiple awards for excellence in business and multiple for education. She has coached over 5,000 families in the education and parenting space, as well as the author of Letting Go, a mindset book around the internal strategies required for you to be your best self. So that is Chris. You're in great hands. All of this to say, she will look after you and she will have your best interests at hand.
Thank you, Brenda. I always feel so humbled every time I hear what you have to say about me. So thank you so much. You know what? I am nothing compared to you, my friend. I am nothing compared to you. So I want to share with you the room. Our amazing Brenda, she has got the snaz and the jazz and everything else to go with it. I mean, don't judge book by its cover, but look at this girl. She's got 18 years in some male-dominated spaces, and she's come out the other end stronger and savvier. So 18 years as an engineer in mining, 5 years coaching emerging women leaders, because you know what? People who look like us, people who are of women who have so much power in them, she wants to help them step up, speak up, and stand out. So, I'm so privileged to be working alongside her. Of course, her professional speaking is off the charts, okay? Because she's already listed with bureaus. So if that's something that you want to do yourself, you're in the right space. Okay, she's an international speaker. She's demanded 5 figures just using her expertise, sharing the expertise and zhuzhing it up with the world, okay? With her speaking tours, it's all paid for. She's been on TEDx and paid AXX listed companies. That is not an easy feat. Multi-award winner, excellence in business and engineering. She's even got a podcast because you know what? She's just got so much time on her hands. No, okay? She's just go. And you know what? I thought I was a good author and a fantastic writer. Look at her. FIFO, Wives' Tale, Secrets of the Construction Industry, and just for good measure, a beautiful coffee table book, 100 Self-Portraits, 100 Dreams, because we need to dream big. We need to dream big. So there you have it. Brenda's going to take away some of this energy and she's going to disperse it into the room. So I hope you enjoy the day.
Thank you, Christine. Oh my gosh, guys. So we've got so much to cover today. But we don't want to do that without looking back at what we have achieved so far in the last 3 days, right? So day one, what did we do? All of you crafted a sticky topic that was relevant, resonant, and spoke to results, right? Who remembers their fantastic topic? Who can say yes in the chat that you've now tweaked your topic and now it is very much a bookable topic, not a blah one. You know the difference. You know which one is going to sell, right? So I hope, yes, we can see Coach Ellison is nodding in the room. Natalie has got hers all zhuzhed up. Fantastic. I know Susie has done this as well. Ashley hasn't joined us yet today, but she is someone who also managed to do this. We know that we have a sticky topic that is booked and bankable. Then we did day two. Yesterday was all about identifying your golden thread, everything that brings together your story, your strategy, and your service, right? So this was a very critical piece. You may have gone back yesterday and tweaked that as part of your homework, as well as creating your signature framework, right? And who remembers what a framework is for? What is a framework for? Who wants to jump off mute and shout it out loud? Who wants to tell us what the framework does for our audience and what it does for our clients that we're serving? Let's see, who wants to come up and chat? Can you see any hands up there, Chris?
I can't stand the silence. Can I give it a bash?
Go ahead, Susie. What was our framework for?
Our framework really helps grab our audience's attention. So it creates curiosity and attracts them to look at the next step of what our offer is.
Fantastic. Exactly. All the three things that Susie said, your framework is key for helping people know, where are we going with this? How do you help me? What is the methods that you use to take me from stuck to a fantastic solution, whatever that may be for your ideal client? So today is day three, and what are we doing? We're all building on the last 2 days that we've built. So if we go on to that next slide, we can see that our promise for you today is that you'll learn how to tell stories that sell. And remember, a lot of people are very interested in this piece on day one. And obviously, once you know how to do all this, you are going to be positioning yourself for future bookings, right? So we want you to be positioning yourself to be paid, to be rehired, to be referred. And this all comes together when you tell your story in a captivating and powerful way. Right? So how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to learn how to turn these frameworks that you've created and put them into momentum. Stories that are going to sell and bring together your bookable topic, your method, and the audience. How do they fit into this? And we'll also share with you today how to add fuel to the fire with our Speaks program. We started to talk about that a little bit yesterday. We also do have a fantastic bonus, which is actually quite crazy, Christine. I keep telling you we should probably we should rethink whether we want to offer that, but we're going to do it. And if you stay till the end, you will know what all that is. And there's a limited time for you to access that. So I am so excited to share that with you today. Okay, well, let us recap. So your framework that you created yesterday. Now, we did have the Facebook group access opening a little bit late yesterday, so I understand if people didn't manage to go in there and pop in their frameworks so we could review them and revisit them. But what you can do now that you've got your framework is that you can turn it into momentum. How? How, Brenda? How do we do this? Well, firstly, you can repurpose it to drive visibility and thought leadership. So your framework that you created yesterday can be turned into 3 talk topics, right? So remember we said this could be perhaps 3 to 5 steps. So let's say your 3-step framework is to step up, speak up, stand out. Well, that could be 3 talk topics, right? How do you step up in a male-dominated space without feeling like the only one in the room, right? Step up, speak up. Speaking up in a room full of others, despite feeling like a small fish or something. And the last one, stand out, right? So that's 3 separate topics that you could build depending on the 3 steps of your framework. Your one framework can become 9 social media posts, right? How do people step up? What do you believe are the key necessary ingredients for your framework for people to be able to put that into effect, right? So you can pick the 3 steps, break it down into micro bites, and add a story to it. Add relevance, add resonance, add the results that people will get if they implement that step of your process, right? Your podcast, your framework can be used to help you in a podcast. How am I going to talk about this? How can I direct the conversation in a way whereby people will end up in my world? Well, you don't have to think about things. You don't have to go and Google. You've got it right in front of you. Your framework is the answer, right? Because it's tried and tested. So you got your hero statement, you got your framework. Use that now to leverage yourself and to position yourself in your podcast. And lastly, your framework can also be used for a workshop or a paid offer, right? In your coach, maybe you want to be a coach, maybe you want to deliver a service. Take them through the 3 steps, because that is how you earned it and learned it. This is how you have managed to go from a struggle to a solution that your audience is interested in, right? So I want you to see some ahas in the chat. Which one do you see yourself easily making happen? Is it number 1, you got 3 talk topics? Type a 2 in the chat if it's social media posts. Type a 3 if you've got a podcast coming up or you want to be on a podcast, but you always wondered, what am I going to say? And now you got an answer. Or 4, if you can see yourself turning your framework into a workshop or paid offer. Which ones are interesting you, making you interested, and which ones do you feel you can put into place? Oh, okay. Susie says number 3, podcast interview talking points. Yes. Your framework is fantastic when used in a podcast because, yes, people will understand how you get them results and how you do what you do. And it will clearly let them know that you are for them or not, right? So this is just a way for you to start adding fuel, start seeing how you can reuse your frameworks now that you know what they are. Natalie says, plan to start with social media. Yes, right? So you're not starting from a blank screen. You're not wondering what to say. You've just got it already ready in front of you. Okay, I love it. Who actually got a cool name for their framework? If you could type in the chat, what's your bold? Was it a bold framework? Was it the edge, voice? Ours is speaks. Oh, Susie came up with align. I like that. Align. And does it bring alignment to your clients, Susie? I assume it's yes. I like that. Who else got a name, a cool name for their frameworks? Type in the chat if you got one too. Let's see. That's okay if no one else has got their framework, got a nice cool name yet. Maybe it's still coming to fruition. Ralph, ooh, reflection, awareness, love, and forgiveness. I like that, Natalie. That is really nice. I do like that. And we have a few privately texted. Thanks, Christine. Alive. Nice. Okay. All right. Well, let's move to that next slide, because what we want to do is really move on to the key piece of today, the story that seals the deal, right? The story that sells. And as always, I love to start with the data because we want to be remembered for the right things with the right people in the right rooms, right? And so through the myriad of stories that you could share, you want to be understanding which ones are the ones that are going to seal the deal for me. So let's have a look at the bit of the research. 79% of buyers say that they chose a speaker, coach, or service provider because their message felt like it was speaking directly to them, right? So that was a LinkedIn Thought Leader survey in 2022 and said almost 8 out of 10 people would buy somebody whose message was speaking directly to them, right? 63% of people remembered a brand that shared a meaningful story compared to just 5% who remembered a brand that shared a traditional ad, right? And we can see now that people are following people. People don't really follow, the brand anymore. It's not really Coca-Cola. It's not really Apple. It's like, oh, what's Steve Jobs doing, right? Who are the people behind the brand? What is Richard Branson up to? And we like the stories that they're sharing. People are wired to remember stories. And in fact, they're 22 times more memorable than a fact or a statistic alone, right? So stories are definitely the key to you being visible. But remember, we don't want to just be visible. We want to be visible and valuable. So what part of your story is the part that you want people to remember? How do we dive into that? Let's have a look, Christine. Do we have a case study? Oh, we want to tell you the secret to a good story. So the story that sells isn't just about your past. It's about how your past positions you to help your people, right? So it's almost you are looking at your stories and crafting them through the lens of your audience. What do they need to hear from me? How do they need to know that this that I'm giving them today is really going to solve their problems? This is relevant, it's urgent, and it's something they desire, right? How do they see that, oh my gosh, you're talking about me. Wow, this looks like it's really speaking to me. You know how I'm feeling. You know the things that are keeping me up at night. And lastly, your story should also demonstrate some results. First of all, hopefully your results. How have you navigated and come through this thing? How have your clients navigated and come through to the other side? How have your team managed to move through and, maybe implement the KPIs that you're trying to drive for the year? How has that happened, and how does it help the whole team to get to the end goal, right? Look at your situation. Who are your people? What is relevant to them? What is going to resonate? And what results can you use to anchor that story? All right. The story that you seal the deal is something that you've overcome, that they are still battling, right? Today, we want to talk about being visible. We want to talk about how to be seen on stages and be successful in that space, right? So we're going to share with you some stories about things that perhaps you're also still battling, that you are looking to overcome. The second thing that is potent in here is, how did you discover the truth that you're seeking? How did that transformation really happen? What was the method you took to go from stuck to solution, right? And finally, what do you know now that they are hungry for, right? So this is the results piece. I'm just giving you the R in a different way for you to sort of see your own stories and the way you shape your stories so that they can see themselves in it. Type a yes in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Which one of these can you see? Oh my gosh, when I tell stories, I haven't really thought about number one. Or, I still need to do a little bit more of number two. Or, yeah, I probably need to zhuzh up the number three, the results piece. I need to sweeten that up a little bit. Type in the chat, which one are you seeing is really the one that needs tweaking, or the one that needs improvement, or the one that actually, I never thought about all these things. 1, 2, 3. I just thought I'd share my own story and that, people would see and enjoy that. Maybe I didn't realize that there was a bit of a strategy to all of this. Let's have a look. What are we seeing in the chat? Anything coming through there, Chris?
No, I think everybody is really understanding what we're putting down. Actually, they're all picking it up. So this is amazing. It's not an easy thing to conceptually think about their own story, but the point is we're actually going to share some stories of ourselves and our clients, because I think once you hear about how a story is put together, then you can reflect on your own story and your client stories and see how these steps 1, 2, 3 actually apply to you as well when you're telling a story. So Brenda, do you want to share your story? Because that's on the next slide. I'm really looking forward to hearing your story.
Yes. So I'll look at the transformation and the before results and transformation, right? So if we look at those 1, 2, 3s, like my own story was that I was not fully comfortable with being seen, right? We've spoken a lot about the 18 years I spent in the industry, in a male-dominated space. I just looked around. My boss asked me one question: Brenda, what do you want to be in 5 years' time, right? I'm sure a few of us have been asked that question, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And I just thought, I don't really know the answer to that question. And I looked around and there was no senior leaders that were women that looked like me, or even just in general, women in itself, right? There weren't any managers in engineering. There weren't any site managers. There weren't anyone, general managers in the places. And I was like, does this mean that I can be what I can't see? I didn't want that to be my story. So I went to seminars and I went to places where women had become, senior leadership roles. But again, I saw, oh my gosh, why are there no Black women on these stages? Where are they? And I decided that I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see, right? I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want that to be my story. So I came to rooms just like this, masterminds just like this, and started to seek out coaches, started to ask the question, how can I be a speaker? How can I learn how to use my voice? How can I own my story and begin to share it? And the results for that, I mean, I'm sure some of you have seen my TEDx talk. I spoke about the journeys. I spoke about very vulnerable stories, in fact, in that talk, which a lot of you, we haven't had a chance yet to talk about that. But if you are in the Speaks program, I'll definitely be sharing the jail story is what it is for those who know about that. But yes, I spoke about very vulnerably. And now hired to speak in multiple rooms, hired to share this story of being alone and being invisible, because lots of people still are in this space, right? And a photo here was from last month, International Women's Day. Spoke with the renowned industry body, which is Engineers Australia, and they had a multi-city tour, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Sydney, with flights, accommodation, meals, Ubers, and a speaking fee on top of that. And so if you asked me years ago, would this be possible? I would have said, I don't know, definitely not. I don't see myself there. But I moved even though I didn't see the end result, right? And this is possible for you too. You guys are in the room today because you want to know, how can I package my story? How can I position myself in rooms where I belong? And what steps do I need to do to take to get there, right? So if I can do it, you can do it too. You're in fantastic hands. I know what it feels like to start small and to get to the middle and still be looking to get even bigger and still keep on living up. So that's my story, Chris. I'd love to hand over to yourself as well so that you can share some of your stories about being in the industry and how you got to where you are.
Oh, thank you so much. Every time I hear Brenda's story, it just gives me chills, because it really gives me pause about my own journey. And over the last 3 decades, oh my goodness, the stories are everywhere and deep and meaningful for many people. And I want to share that. So whilst we can come in on the fact that we are minorities racially, I think it's more than that. I think it's actually about, being a minority voice. Women, we don't have enough space to speak. Now, my journey started off on a trading floor. So just think Wolf of Wall Street. And look at this. I'm not tall. I'm a tiny little Asian girl. And I'm not just Asian. I'm a woman. And I'm trying to battle this macho talk on a trading floor. I have so much knowledge. In fact, Brenda said 4 degrees. Actually, I counted. I actually have 6 degrees. Okay. Sorry, Bren, for the correction. But, I've got master's degree coming out of the wazoo. I have so much knowledge, but I really felt not seen and not heard. Okay, and I'll share a story about what happened on the floor one day. One of my male colleagues actually handed me a pile of paper, and he said, "Hi, Amanda." And I said, "Hey, John." He said, "Oh, I'm not John." I said, "Oh, fancy that. I'm not Amanda either." And it was a penny drop moment for David. So these moments really ask for us to step up and step out into our own power, whatever that looks like. So what was my story of transformation? I was a smart woman, and I did not want to be boxed in to where people were constantly stereotyping me for what they saw. So my ticket out was when I had my first child, and I decided I'm going to give back in my own way. And I started my own business. I saw a gap in the market, and guess what? I actually started, mind you, I have a finance and business degree and background, and I decided my passion was to give back so that people are so much more literate and have a voice and words. And I actually went back and taught English literature. So Shakespeare's my other boyfriend. Don't tell my husband. And that was a gap in the market. And that was my golden thread, because I was delivering to an audience. And was it really Shakespeare that I wanted to teach? No, I actually wanted to teach voice. I wanted to teach the ability to communicate and step up in a different way. Because if you're smart, and you've got the golden thread and you're giving people what they want, that is exactly where you need to be. So you can check me out on LinkedIn. I have multiple businesses, multi-seven-figure businesses in education. I've got tuition colleges across the state. I'm in childcare as a business. And now with Brenda and I rocking the stage, we're giving back to the world through empowering people who look like us, women. Okay, women. And of course, the men who are rooting for us as well. So that's my story. And I hope you enjoy that. That is a journey in itself. And I really, really want everybody to sort of think about their own story from what they were before, what their transformation was and is, and what sort of results you actually want now and going forward. Not just for yourself, but for the people that you serve. So thank you.
Wow, wow. Thank you, Christine. Share some love in the chat. Let me know if that resonated. Which story did you love? Which one can you see yourself in? We want you guys to see that you're in good hands. We're not, just because we've achieved some successes, we want to bring many more people with us. We look around and we see we need more brilliance on these stages. We need more brilliance in the market in general, because we just need to sometimes polish the gold that is underneath, right? We want the brilliance. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. We can see the love in the chat. Okay, so I wanted to share a story from one of our clients there. If you go to the next slide, we spoke about Sharon a couple of days ago, but Sharon is a owner of a boutique salon. It's called Suede Salon in Canada, Toronto. In fact, lots of people fly from around the world to come to her for her brunettes. She's got this company called Brilliant Brunettes. And she had run a few classes and, to teach hairdressing, but she wanted to know, how can I own the stage as a speaker, right? She'd been to some events, maybe she'd been to a conference and seen other people crush it and thought, hey, I could probably do the same. Could do that, right? So she came to us, and within weeks, she had finalized her golden thread, packaged her story, her service, and her strategy together to meet the room. She had a masterclass where she had other hairdressers come into that space, and she crafted a message. She put her message together to show why she's the one. She shared stories about how she was in corporate and didn't like it and moved to hairdressing and then grew that even more when she had a purpose. And she also finalized her media kit and, getting herself positioned so that she can actually be on stages more prominently. The result, she closed $26,000 in her masterclass where she shared this story, right? So a room full of hairdressers understood her, said, oh my gosh, you get me. Oh my gosh, you see me. Wow, you've got a clear pathway for me to create beautiful and brilliant brunettes just like you, and have people flying from all over the world just like they do for you. And then she was able to resonate and get them to jump onto her follow-on service. She was also invited to speak at a L'Oreal event and received an inbound inquiry to be on a panel for another beauty industry event, right? So all of this in just 8 weeks, she managed to get this transformation. She just had a decision. She said, I want this. I don't know if it's possible, but I want to revise my skills. I want to position myself. And she saw the results flowing on through, right? And this is possible for you too in the room, right? If you are thinking, is this possible for me? How can I do this too? The answer is yes, you can. And if you want to continue on this journey with Chris and I, you definitely will be in good hands. Okay, Chris, so I want you guys now to think about yourself. What part of your story resonates with the audience that you serve and gets them to say, I trust you. You get me, right? Have you guys received the workbook yet? If not, we'll chuck that workbook into the chat so you can start to see and follow on where we're at. Because we want you to build on what you created from your hero statement in day 1, the golden thread you tweaked in day 2, and now think about, I help my audience go from this specific struggle to this desirable outcome by sharing my story of fill in the gap, right? So you're going to start to fill in the gap. What part of my story really resonates with them? that I can share, right? And you might actually have multiple stories, right? You might say, oh my gosh, I've got the one time I was crying on my kitchen floor because I was just so stressed out, and this was just the pivot, the turning point moment, right? This is my story of the turning point, right? Or this is my story of realizing I'd reached my ultimate milestone, right? This is the story where I realized that I couldn't just pause it and push this under the rug. I had to own it. I had to get into alignment. I had to become alive, right? So think about your story. Think about your framework, your method. Which stories can you share that the audience will get to say, wow, this is me. I trust you. I'm willing to listen to you. All right, let's see what we've got in the chat here. Helena says, love you both. Oh, thank you, Helena. Sharon is from Canada. Yes, she is. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, fantastic. We've got the workbook in the chat as well. All right, I want to see, are there any questions coming across? What have we got? Are people starting to see, oh my gosh, yes, this is making sense. I can see how I can share my story in a way that's going to sell. How does it sell? Because you got the 3 R's. It's relevant and urgent and solving a struggle. It's resonating because it's touching someone's emotions. You're really hitting a point where they're not sleeping, where they're urgently in discomfort, where they're feeling an inner turmoil. And lastly, it is creating results. Either your results that you've already navigated, the results of your clients that they have received in your tutelage, and the results that they can get now by simply putting your strategies into place. Okie dokie. We don't see anything in the chat coming through. Any questions? Any comments? Why is it so quiet in here?
Teacher. You're such a great teacher, Brenda. I think it's just gems dropping down. People are like, tick, tick, tick. I get what I need to do. I get what I need to do.
Fantastic. Well, welcome to the room, Sally. Hello, Kimberly. Okay, so, and hello, Tulu. You're back in the room again. Good to see you. Okay, so let's jump on then, Chris. I think what we want to do next is just to introduce the Speaks Communication Strategy Program, right? So this is a 12-week program that we spoke about a little bit yesterday, but I want to dive into all of this now so you can see exactly what is included in the 12 weeks. What am I going to get out of this? Why would I sign up to this, right? So we'll put that flyer into the chat for people to have a bit of a look because it's probably a little bit small on the screen there. I'm struggling to see myself. So 12 weeks of guided strategy support calls. So we're going to be catching up with you weekly and diving through the modules for the Speaks framework. Remember what we went through yesterday, the struggle, the pathway, the anecdotes and stories that you can share to really resonate and showcase this, the evidence and the data and the case studies from your own life, your own testimonials, and a credible source. The kickstart into action, right? And the pricing. How do you price yourself? That's probably one of the most common questions I always get. Brenda, I've been asked to speak. I've been asked to provide a service. I want to be a coach. What do I do? Where do I start pricing? Is it $0? Does that look too cheap? Is it $1,500? Is it $5,000? I feel like a bit of an imposter. So we go through this in detail, in depth for your personal scenarios. We give you the industry standards. We let you know how to back yourself when you deliver those numbers so that people think, oh my gosh, of course, and you position your value in accordance with that. So we'll give you clear, repeatable tools to shape your golden thread message and visibility. And on those live weekly calls, you also get the opportunity to come on and be hot seat coached for your unique scenario, right? So you might say, oh my gosh, I run a yoga service. How do I maximize this? How do I go where my people are? How do I show them everything that they need to do, right? So we put you on the hot seat. You get me and Chris to dive into you and your specific service, your specific talk perhaps, and show you how to tweak it. How do you make it more relevant? How do you make it more resonant? How do you make it more desirable for your audience? We review your message. We review your pitch. We listen to you practice live on the call, right? We've also got the Speaks Communication Vault. So this is swipe files, templates, storytelling frameworks, pitch builders, everything that helps you to really hone in your golden thread worksheet, right? We went through the THREAD method to finalize your golden thread. This is your unique differentiator. This makes people see, oh my gosh, I must be with them. I need to be with them. We talk about your positioning map. We talk about your frameworks and how to put them on steroids, right? Community support and practice labs, right? So you've got a safe space to be putting your thoughts through, to say, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is the right thing. Does this resonate with you guys? Do you feel this is urgent enough? And we can be like, no, that's not meeting the bill, or yes, 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 please, this is how you adjust this. This is how you can make this more powerful. Chris and I will bring our brains, bring our brawn to the table and help you to make it speak. And most importantly, to make it monetize so you got money in your pocket. And you get access to our network, right? So this is an instant addition to our directory where you may be matched to a room, matched to our people, matched to our network who may be desiring a service just like yours, right? So we position you. We can see a lot of speaking opportunities. We can see a lot of coaching opportunities. We know the rooms that we've been in where people say, we always struggle to find women who deliver workshops around this. It's like, no, you don't. We know 17 women who do this, right? So you automatically, by being in this program, means that we will talk about you in spaces where people are looking for a paid service like yours, right? And pay in full bonus. So if you pay in full, you get a one-on-one brand audit call with us. You get a positioning and visibility review. So what we do is we look at your message. We look at how you're showing up online. We look at, do you have a website? Is your website telling us the same thing that you feel you are telling us, right? And we give you a done for you media kit. And our special bonus for today is, I don't know if that's actually the next slide, but we will have an actual very first special bonus where on top of all this, if you sign up within the next 48 hours before the end of the weekend, you also get a landing page, custom landing page. You choose what you want it for, you choose what you want it to position, and you get a free website as well if you pay in full. And Chris, I don't know, I still feel very silly. People pay $10,000 to get a website done, and you may have created a website yourself, and you know how hard it is to do a website. But we want to take that off your plate. We want to include this to even boost the value even more for you, because we're not going to be asking you for $26,000. We're not going to be asking you for $36,000. The price is simply $3,000 for the 12 weeks. Right? Or if you want to go on a payment plan, it's $1,200 per month, right?
It's a steal.
It is a steal.
It's a steal. And again, you know, we're not salespeople, we're educators. So we just want to get our message out there. We want to ensure that everybody is going to benefit from what we know. And we've actually really put together all of our strategies in the Speaks Communication Strategy Program, because we want you guys to be the early adopters to this fantastic framework. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome, Chris. Well, why don't you stay on and give us a couple of examples of some people who've worked with us. Let's just showcase some of the results that we've been able to help our clients achieve.
Awesome. I think this is really still about storytelling. And I think storytelling is so important for everybody to communicate their ability to impact the world, because I think this is what drives Brenda and I. How do we make a difference? And I'm sure everybody in the room is about making a difference in their niche, making a difference to the people who want to work with them. So I want to introduce you to one of our clients called Akina. This is a case study. Now, what was Akina like before? Okay, look at the beautiful picture to your right. This is her making jewelry, but she was never always in the space. She was actually in a very grueling and high-stress design job. She was head of UX design at Raw Studios. They're actually in the Australian Financial Review as one of the fastest growing startups. You can look that up. But she was the head of design there, and it was very overwhelming. So we're working with some pretty, choice people here. And she was really questioning her path. So what was her transformation? She worked with us for 3 months. And most importantly, she found clarity. She turned confusion into this inspired action. And she quickly identified what her golden thread was so that she could understand what she was struggling with and created a pathway to align with a business that monetized. I mean, was she getting paid? Initially, yes. But was she being emotionally rewarded? No. And now she's designing jewelry and creating jewelry for beautiful weddings. You can go on a website. I really, really like to promote our clients because it is so important for them to win. Okay. And this is what Brenda and I are all about. You need to win because then we all win. So that's Akina. And look at what Atelia Akina has said. Chris helped me understand my what and my why through thought-provoking questions that I uncovered and what I was looking for in my life. We then worked on transforming this into an achievable goal, and she taught me actionable tips and tools that made it fun to pursue. She managed to make work fun. Home play, not homework. And that was my catch cry. With more clarity in my mind, I feel excited and motivated when I think about my future now, whereas before it would give me a lot of fear, uncertainty, and anxiety. And that is when someone is trapped, despite all the, fancy names. I mean, think about myself. I was on a trading floor. That's where all the, people talk about money every day, but it was not aligned to me. Okay, and this is beautiful, Kina. I want to share with you a story about the beautiful Lillian. For anyone who's an educator in the room, she is an experienced educator with 30 years of knowledge. She is a published author, evidence-based learning, 3 books. She basically said, Chris, I don't know how to monetize my knowledge. Girls, what do I do? 4 months journey, created a solid program. She created a partnership. And now she's a highly sought after education expert throughout schools with her programs and a clear golden thread. And within 4 months, 9.5K and growing, plus a solid business impacting educators across the nation. Her first package was sold to a private school. And so she's on the radar of principals now who want what she has. And it's such a beautiful story.
I've just come off another session with Christine One, my business coach. And I have to say, I got so much value out of that. It is such a pleasure to clock time with people, download all your burning questions, and come up with solutions. Thank you, Christine, for another fabulous session.
So I cannot rave on more about Lillian because every day, every time we speak, she's like, Chris, there's more's coming my way, I said, oh, look, the flow, just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. So these stories are so rewarding for Brenda and I. I want to also introduce you to a lovely young man because we don't just work with women. And this is a photo that he took. Okay, so you can see the beauty of, what he can create. He was in a sales job and his side hustle was in photography and car detailing. So you can imagine the competition that was out there. He was overwhelmed. And he really desperately wanted to leave his day job. So what was his journey? 6 months, Aaron created a signature system that revolutionized the car detailing industry. Okay. And he created a fast response client journey that is scaling him easily 6 figures and beyond. And of course, what's the result? His business, Viridian Detailing, was born. I know this is really cute because I'm not into it, but Viridian apparently is a Pokemon city for those who have kids and love Pokemon. And I was like, okay, whatever tickles your fancy. But obviously he is really addressing what's in it for his clients. And this is the wonderful Aaron. He says, thank you for yet another eye-opening and powerful session. I've never felt so empowered and confident in my life. This newfound clarity has enabled me to take things to the next level. Also, FYI, my first client just paid me booked and banked. So what more can we say? The last one I want to share is Hung. And again, this is a photo from her activities. She was a senior tech manager at Wix. So again, we're talking about some high stakes people who have very high paying jobs. And basically she was bored. She had a passion for fashion, specifically in the sustainability space. And she wanted to make an impact to businesses with a great message. Her 3-month journey, and still a raving fan and client, Hung has created clarity with her clients that she loves working with. She left her job and she's now creating an aligned message that helps businesses in the sustainability space with digital visibility. Okay. And her first client, $20,000 sign up within 3 months. And again, she's actually working with, she's Vietnamese. She's married to an English, husband, and this is her beautiful face. And she's working with women in Vietnam and giving them the opportunity to even start up their own sustainability business. She said, I just had my first session with Christine and wow, it was a game changer. Her energy is infectious. And she asked all the right questions that got me thinking in new ways. I've already had some major light bulb moments and can't wait for more sessions to dig even deeper. Christine's got this amazing knack for, what'd she say? Oh, my screen's covering this up. But Brenda, if you could read the rest for me, that'd be great.
Sparking excitement and clarity, and she's excited for the journey ahead.
So that is the beautiful Hung, and she's so creative, and she's just bringing it all to her clients as we speak. So thank you so much for letting me share the stories of our clients.
I'd love to know, type in the chat if any of these stories have resonated with you, which one you may seem close to, which one has maybe spoken to a result that you're looking to create. Because what we're wanting to do is to show potentiality. We want to show what's possible for you, because oftentimes we wonder, I don't know, is this really for me? Am I the right person for this? Am I a good fit? Am I the one that is ready for this, right? So if you go to that next slide there, Chris, I'll see if people sort of chat and start typing the chat there. But our 12-week program is for you if you're ready to lead with your voice. If you want to position your message, your service with clarity and communicate the value that it brings to people's lives more specifically, right? And we'll help you to build the strategy around this golden thread. What is your golden thread? What signature offers can you create? And what content can you use to maximize that and build momentum and put it on fire, add fuel to that fire? We want to help you position yourself as the go-to in your space and to communicate with confidence, right? So this is the program where you get to do all of this. This is the space. And as I mentioned before, we've got a special bonus. In addition to the 12 weeks program, you do receive a custom landing page, right? Really positioning you, really positioning your service. Perhaps it's for something you want to do, a challenge, an event, a workshop. We'll also do a digital audit. This is valued at $950. Look, again, looking to see, are you cohesive? Are you showing up on Google? If we do show up, what can we see? Is it actually your golden thread, or is it quite blah, right? Is it booked or is it blah? And the first 3 people will get a free website valued at a crazy amount. Christine, I still don't know. So if you know that having a website has been on your agenda, having it free actually sounds like a fantastic deal. We encourage you now, get into the chat. There's a little link there which says book a discovery call. This is your way to lock yourself in, to be the first one, snag a spot, to talk to us and make sure this is the right thing for you. And if you pay in the next 48 hours, you will get this bonus on top of the other ones that we spoke about, right? So it just feels so crazy, but we're happy to do this. We're happy for you to win. You're in our space. We want to see you win. This is what you're here for. Okay, well, this is your opportunity. Feel free. The links are all in the chat, but I want to hear from you. Who's got some questions? We've got some minutes now. We are here to answer any questions that you may have, anything you may want to table. You can stop sharing and go from there. Who is first? Feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to type in the chat whatever your ahas were. I want to hear all the things. I feel like we've been sharing a lot, which of course I'm happy to do. But who has got a question? Who's got an aha moment? Who's got something that they want to share?
Don't be shy. We are happy to answer any questions. And of course, if you want to speak to us privately, don't feel pressured that you have to say anything now, because if you just click on the button and schedule a call, we are not high pressure people. At the end of the day, we want to be able to work with you, see where your gaps are and give you the answers to them. So don't feel like you need to ask a question now. You can just simply say, hey, girls, I just want to have a chat with you, see if it's right for me, and take it from there. So no pressure whatsoever. I'm just conscious and respectful of everybody's time as well. So we've got 5 minutes before 11. Or even if you want to share your own story and your own, the gems that you've learned in the last few days, we are very open to, just hearing all of that, because that's most important. It's all about you, not about us. Brenda, Tolu has a question. Are we able to pay for the lifetime access to the recordings of this 3-day program? Well, I believe so, yes. Absolutely. We'll organise that for you, Tolu. No problems.
Yes. Tolu, we'll sort that out for you. I just recognize that the workbook has got some exercises in there as well for people to finalize if they're looking to still see how they can create their own little audit. How are you looking? How are you going? What action are you going to take so that the last 3 days of progress that you've had aren't going to be limited, right? You still continue to make that momentum happen, and go from there. Okay, who else has got some questions? I want to hear what people's ahas are, Chris. We were meant to have a little post where people could say, I've been on a 3-day challenge with Chris and Grant, and I felt, right? So maybe pop it in the chat. What have you found most helpful from the last 3 days? What have you loved? What was your aha? What is your key takeaway? Please let us know. It is our love language to hear feedback. Okay, Natalie says, I'm so grateful for the steps to clarity you've given us. You're very welcome, Natalie. Thank you. We're glad that we were able to meet the brief and give you some amazing insights.
Love that. Oh, thank you, Susie. That is amazing. It's the real examples of a blah to aha that I loved and has really helped. I'm so glad that everybody is really reflecting on those moments. Fantastic. Love it.
Natalie says, absolutely. Met the brief. Good to see. Amazing.
It is possible. I love what Helena said. I didn't manage to attend the first 2 days, but you'll watch the replays, of course. But today, my aha moment is, it is possible. That is strong. That is powerful.
Yes, I love that. That is really the intention of these last 3 days, to help you see that, you can do what you need to do. Your message is valuable. People do need it. And simply polishing it up, positioning it so that they can see that you're the one, and what you need to tweak and adjust is really, really the work. Doing the homework too has really helped me to focus on what I need to change. Fabulous. We are so happy, Susie, that has landed. Oh, my voice is running. It's running low, but it will never be stopped, never be quenched. So we will be sending through the replay for today. We do have a nice little page where all 3 days will be available for you. Make sure you take the time to watch. I think there's only another 24 hours or so that will be available for Chris. Is that right? Or do you want that for till Sunday?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
So that you guys have everything you need.
Tolu shared, everything has been amazing, learned a lot. Shame I've had to multitask. Hey, that's what makes us powerful. 7 a.m. Perth, I would need to go re-listen. Yes, be our guest. Okay, and Tolu says, one thing that has stood out in addition to the core message is the way you've both uplifted each other in your introduction and genuine support for women more broadly. This is without doubt, because this is what's going to make the difference. And I'll say girls, because I'm just one of those girls who loves a slumber party as well, with my girlfriends. But at the end of the day, this is what we really need to do. This is the safe space. This is the space for us, not just as women, but also, the men out there who are supportive of our movement, to really make a difference. And we have so many skills to impart. you know, in our little way, because it's a grassroots movement, you know. And this is why Brenda and I have come together, because we've been there, we've done that, we've had the struggles, and we've got the pathway. Okay, and we can get it done fast, because we have ourselves been to many sessions, masterminds, and frankly, and I'll be really upfront, we don't want to waste any more time, because time is money. Okay, time is money. And if you are sitting on the fence going, how can I make a difference today? It's going to be a huge difference if you said, oh, I'll be ready next year, because that's 365 days of somebody not actually getting your help. Okay. And just thinking about the clients that we've had, they come from all walks of life. They don't necessarily want to be a speaker, but they have a message. That is the most important. Because I think what we really want you to do is really channel into the message that you want out there in the world. And if you don't have a message, that's why we're here. Or if you think you have a message and we do an audit and say, no, that message is not going to land, guess what? You want to hear it now. You don't want to hear about it next year going, so I've spent 365 days of my life embarking on a message that I thought worked because somebody else told me, yeah, keep going with it. When the reality is, you could have made a change today and not in 365 days' time. Thank you, Susie. Thank you so much. We loved having you here. Thank you for your support. And, you know, we'll connect with you soon. You know, so that is the reason why we're doing what we're doing. So if you think our message resonates, please, you know, we'll just have a quick chat and then see how we can help you, you know, get that message out there faster. So I'm very mindful and respectful of everybody's time. So if you have any more questions, we are happy to stay to have a chat, because I think that's the most important, to get all of your burning questions answered. Otherwise, we are going to touch base with you after this anyway.
There was one question in the chat, Chris, from Susie. For those of us who bought the VIP offer, what's the next step?
Yep. And Brenda said we will reach out. Perfect.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So the VIP offer includes the lifetime access to the replays and also a review of your framework. So we'll look at it through our Speaks lens and let you know, is it booked for blah? Is it booked to blah? And how can you make it better, right? So this is what's included. So feel free to, you know, do the upgrade if you need that, or, you know, better still, why not actually understand how to do that in the program, right?
Right. So if that's what you would like, which is, you know, to upgrade to the VIP, just send us an email and we can sort that out. It's not an issue at all. But of course, you know, we'd love for you to be on the long journey with us so that you can make greater impact to the world.
Do you want to do a photo?
Absolutely. Let's do that. All right. So we should have done that before, but obviously we were so in the moment. Shall we do a little love heart as we all speak? The worthiness of us all. Woo! Done. All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day and love to you all.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.